I'd like to call this meeting to order. Would you all join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We shall start off with the approval of the August 20th regular meeting minutes.
I'll move it.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. Public comment. There's no one here for public comment tonight. So we're up to discussion items. So we have received multiple letters of interest from our community members for the vacancy of one board seat, remaining board seat that was vacated by Al. We'll propose that we review them in executive session tonight, later tonight, come up with some criteria, and then potentially, if we want, call in the respective candidates for an interview. But our intention is to appoint by the 17th meeting. So we may have to have a special quick meeting to bring people in to see what their interest is and set up some criteria tonight, and then make that appointment. I'm very pleased that we had multiple letters. I think we got 4 or 5 letters of interest for one spot. So that's great. The community's really stepping up. So, thank you to them. We're working to schedule a facilities committee meeting in October. Corey's going to send out an email to all the community members, kind of just selecting a date for that. And Dr. McDowell's going to explain our updated 5-year action plan priorities.
Well, I'm not going to, Doctor, leading to, on why we're scheduling that. So, 2 things with this. One, we've been working, and as I mentioned a few times, that when Brett Wood came here as facilities director, he took a look at the current in place that was just completed last year, 5-year plan. He had a lot of questions. He had a lot of fresh eyes himself, and from his experience here, and we've been working with Dan Whalen to update a number of things that either clarify that they're under an umbrella that's already listed, or to add. And then after that, they got to get pricing to it, costing all of it, and then we can do our priority setting. There is I think it's actually on tonight, a proposal from them to do a facility structural study in a couple different areas that we've identified, one being the middle school, and then there's a couple other areas that need to be taken a look at so we can make sure that we've got the highest priorities as needed into this when we create this next capital project. So that's 2. 3, we're going to schedule a presentation here from fiscal advisors. Thank you. They, at the end of every project and at the end of every fiscal year, they do a new analysis, and I think I sent you part of this in my message. If you haven't had a chance, I'll just recap it. In doing so, they take a look again at where we were with debt roll-off and where we are with our finances in our capital reserve. So due to higher than expected interest rates, of course, our capital reserve did better than expected. And due to the excellent work and the grant funding and various things from this project that just finally got its final processing in, it's ended up being a more favorable climate financially in the area of capital improvement. So we're looking at potentially up to a $13 million project, and it could be done a year earlier. Now, that be done a year earlier, and then she's already projected where we could do a second one out in, I think it's 27 or 28. So where we thought we had an extra year to plan this, we now don't. It would be next year in the fall to go out to bid if we follow this guideline. So we've been meeting every 2 weeks with architects anyway to move them along, because my gut was, don't take all the time because you don't know what's going to happen. And here we are. This happened. So I'm glad we've been pushing. They guarantee me that they can have the pricing done for us by late October, late October for this facilities meeting, so we can have that complete package and start doing a new timeline and coming through with development. So, with that said, we're trying to find out right now, but one of the meetings in October, or possibly the next meeting in September, or one of the meetings in October, we're gonna have fiscal advisory here to do a presentation to the full board on what, in more technical terms than what I just explained in summary, so that everybody can be educated on that. The second thing within this, we also received, I received yesterday, the 135-page NYSERDA electrical study draft. So we're going through that as a draft. I've got Millard and Brett going through it, make sure everything's accurate. And I'm assuming that we're going to want them to come to the full board to do a presentation as well, rather than facilities, correct?
Yes.
Looking at the draft of it, they do a chart. They list everything that falls in a category and then not recommended. And I don't know where the draft process goes from, but they've identified somewhere around 390,000 that they're gonna recommend. But I don't know if that goes up after discussion or whatnot, but that's just from the draft that I just looked at, the first 25 pages this afternoon.
So is that something that we should have them do one with facilities before it goes to the whole board, so if there's extra questions that they can be prepared to present to the entire board with?
That's the
Or-
format we've always used. I thought that study would be more complete and it'd be like almost a final. I guess it depends on where the
Will
draft
be
is
soon.
at.
I think it's just about done. They're just asking us for feedback. So we're looking at it for accuracy of equipment and such. And then we're gonna say, okay, go ahead and finalize it and present.
Okay,
So
so it's not on concept, basically, it's
No,
on
not on
actually
concept.
what, okay.
Yeah, I think we're past the development.
That's what I just
Kinda
was
in the-
Yeah.
looking to clarify, because with other projects that we were looking at prioritizing, they may wanna go one way, you might wanna
Yep.
redirect, that's all.
So we'll schedule that as well. So that, we'll try to get that in October as well, so we have all the information for our fiscal processes. So we'll see what happens with that. I'll push them to get that complete. Brett Miller had a lot to go through, that 135 pages. So anyway, I was gonna mention that later, but it's here. So we'll take care of that. Okay, and let me ask this. I don't have to hold this draft by any means. If you wanna, it's 135 pages, if you wanna get your eyes on the draft sooner rather than later while we finalize it, I can send that out by all means and send the documentation I've received to everybody, and if you choose to look at it, you choose to look at it. If you don't, you don't.
Like, drop it in the library.
You'd rather have more time, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that way we can ask good questions if we
Yep.
are prepared.
And that'll be draft, and we'll let you know when we put the final in, and we'll let you know if there's been any substantial changes. Okay? All right, we'll do that.
Okay? Okay, any other discussion items? Have they listed? How about correspondence?
We do not have any.
How about new agenda items?
We do not have any.
Okay, on the consent agenda, we have got declared surplus listed for you. Declare Bus Drivers Appreciation Day for October 23rd. Declare Educational Support Personnel Appreciation Day for November 20th. Declare Teacher Appreciation Day for May 6th. Declare School Nurse Appreciation Day for May 7th. Approval of mentors and personnel athletic recommendations for chaperones over winter sports. Anyone want to pull any of those individual ones for discussion? No, I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Make a motion.
Second.
Motion second, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda is carried. Okay, new business, 8A is just appointing the finance Advisory Committee for the 24-25 school year. And that would be Richard DeMond Jr., Kevin Verweer, Kevin Charles, myself as an alternate, and the school business manager.
Right, we were just adding Mr. Charles.
Yep.
I move it.
Second.
Any further discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Kevin. Next, we have the authorization for architectural and engineering services that Dr. McDonald talked about. That is to do engineering structural review of middle school wall, a couple things at Townsend, to see where if they're real issues or not real issues with the cracks we've seen in the past 5 years, 6 years, 7 years that I've been here. Some of them have been noticed that far back, so try to get a structural look at those and see if those need to be reprioritized into our 5-year master plan.
We have a couple other smaller areas that Brett has identified, so we're gonna make sure to get eyes on it, so we have clear vision.
Well, at the very least, you have good documentation of what it is to compare over time too, if there is any changes.
Yep. Absolutely.
Question on that, the date is not to commence before the end of the year? Is
For
that-
this?
Yeah,
Oh, no, this is going to be done in the next couple of weeks. This structural review,
that's not what's in the contract.
well, I think he did a typical for the year, but this structural review, because of what I explained earlier, they're guaranteeing me they're going to be on site by the middle of September to have it done in line with our increased timeline, shortened timeline.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but it says, services to commence December 31st,
December 31st, 2025, that's an error.
2024.
2024.
Number 2 schedule.
Where are we?
Delivered,
Yeah, that's-
will be delivered to you on the following schedule. So services,
Will be
it says
delivered
services commence.
Commence, yeah, they shouldn't say commence. It
I
should be
would
should be
complete.
assume it will be complete by
Yeah.
31st.
Okay. We will make that, we'll make that adjustment on the documentation. Thank you for that. We'll correct their contract.
I'll make a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion on that agreement? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is authorized with completion on the 31st. Next we have 8C, which is create CPSE coordinator and stipend position.
Any questions on that? I put the detail from the Friday letter in here.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried. And finally, we have personnel appointments. Any discussion on those?
I'll move the motion.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion on those personnel appointments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried. Okay, old business, we have committees made during the annual reorganizational meeting. Just adding Jake Davies and Kevin Verweer to the district safety committee, as per our discussion at our last meeting.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome to the committee. Now we're up to policy update. Mr. Verweer, please.
All right, so as part of our annual policy review, the following policies are available for review. 2000, board operational goals. 2100, school board legal status. 2110, school board powers and duties. 2120, school board elections. 2120.1, candidates and campaigning. 2020.2, voting procedures. 2121, board member qualifications. 2150, filling board vacancies. 2060, code of ethics for all district personnel. 2210, board organizational meeting. 2220, board officers. 2230, appointed board officials. 2250, board committees. 2260, citizen advisory committees. 2270, school attorney. 2310, regular meetings. 2320, special meetings. 2330, executive sessions. 2340, notice of meetings. 2342, agenda preparation and dissemination. 2350, board meeting procedures. 2351, quorum. 2352, rules of order. 2360, minutes. 2382, broadcasting and taping of board meetings. 2410, policy development, adoption, implementation, and review. 2510, new board member orientation. 2520, board member training. 2521, board member conferences, excuse me, conventions, workshops. 2710, communication among individual board members. Please review those policies at your convenience.
It's quite a list, but at the beginning of the year, it's good to have that refresher on those. Okay, we're up to supervisor's remarks.
Okay. Given the short span between meetings, the only report we have was a report we didn't have for last meeting, which is Mr. Robinson. Do you have anything, Rick, to highlight here?
Actually, we met regarding a hire to replace Victor. We offered the position to one person who accepted a job offer from DCMO that same day. So she turned down our position and took a teaching position with DCMO. So we're happy for her. We offered it to the second applicant who's quite capable. He did accept it. I believe they're supposed to have an emergency board meeting to approve him. So hopefully we'll have him on site within the next couple weeks. So we're very excited because we are incredibly understaffed.
Just to verify, this is not our hire. This is a continuation of the BOCES service that we had a vacancy on.
Correct. We did have upwards of 8 to 10 applicants, which was great. The applicant pool was 3 or 4 times larger than normal, and we had 3 or 4 that we wanted to hire. So that's great news compared to what we've experienced the last 5 or 6 years.
Yep.
So I really like who we picked. While it's our second choice, they were right in line with each other. So we're excited. So hopefully we have someone here in the next couple of weeks. Gonna fit right in.
Anything else on here? Rick? Or any questions for Rick?
We do have one more network closet to upgrade. I'm programming the switches right now. Not this week. Next week I'll start programming them, and we'll work on that during the next break. And then the following year we'll upgrade the next 3 or 4 closets, which are these things in the corner. And then we're right back to fully upgraded from the 2017 expansion that we did. So we're in a really good place right now.
Do these types of projects get looped into the capital projects, or are they just part of the regular?
They normally do not, solely because we get a different type of funding for these.
Okay.
These are covered with something called E-rate. So we get like 85% of whatever we spend back up to a certain amount. So we use that amount almost every year to capture it. So we spend about 60,000 and we get back about 52 or something, somewhere around that. So we're actually spending like $8,000 to upgrade tens of thousands of dollars of vital equipment to keep us running.
And the technology, majority of our technology all flows through the central RIC, which is attached to the BT BOCES. So that's where the E-rate, they manage E-rate for all districts, and they fund through the network support services that we pay into, and they work with RIC to establish it and maintain our network. So if we were to ever do a major upgrade, like a fiber upgrade or a upgrade from a cat whatever to another cat whatever, right?
Yeah.
Then we'd be looking at a capital project. We established, and I think we've done 2 underneath capital projects type of thing. So But so we're in good standing right now with our wiring and our capabilities.
Absolutely. I don't
So-
see any major changes needing to occur anytime soon. The original project was 2017 with $1.1 million of Smart Schools funding that all schools got depending on their size and income and needs. So the majority of the phones, the cameras, and these closets were replaced in 2017. Now we're doing the second phase of that just to keep us updated.
Excuse me.
And on my end, Mark, just a couple things on today. At opening day with staff, I attached the PowerPoint if anybody is interested. We had some nice celebrations, but great and open up the welcome back and talk about the elephant in the room. Me. I joked with them and said, I was tempted to find some kind of elephant ears or something to wear to mess with them, but then I remembered people's cell phones. And guaranteed that would have went viral. So I didn't. He was gonna do a picture with me riding an elephant, thankfully he did not. This is where viral memes come from. I told the staff that, they kind of got a kick out of that, but, we welcomed their new staff, we did our service awards. We had a 40-year award today with Ray Bartlett. That's not normal. What was our gal from a few years ago, our highest?
Dorothy
Elmore.
Elmore.
And she was how many years, was it 40?
40.
40. Anybody remember Dorothy Elmore from the elementary school, the cafeteria? So this is the second one that I can remember with Mr. Bartlett. So he got a nice round of applause from the staff, and it was very nice. Jake was there as well. We appreciate having the board support and presence. And then the second part of the day, we had our first 3-hour, we have a 2-part series with trauma-attuned model training. This is connected to our school, to our grant, Stronger Connections grant that we got a year and a half ago, the $800,000 grant that supports our social workers as well as extending our mental health training. And this is part of the PD training within it. We were able to, because of the nature of this, address everybody. So we got probably 90% of the staff there. There's some staff that just we have to open school, so they got to be out doing what they're doing, and we're going to do some catch up in October. But today from 12 to 3, we had our first round of training on trauma practices and what does trauma mean, what's the impact for kids, what does the behavior exhibit if most everybody has had some kind of trauma in their life. And tomorrow from 8:30 to 11:30, we have the second part of it, and then the trainer who's here, Alyssa, will be here periodically throughout the year, working in classrooms with teachers, and then doing group further exploration and education with them. And we have so far, I think we have 17 providers, teachers, majority of them elementary, which makes sense. And then we're going to try to get the other 3. We have maximum of 20, but they may squeeze it a little bit if we have more people interested. We'll see. But that's huge to have that many individuals volunteer to be coached and further their knowledge and education and professional practice, especially in this area. So exciting. This is huge. And the presenter was excellent, very well received. And I think we're in for a very good year. I think the staff's going to really enjoy having her throughout the year. I hope I'm right. So we'll see where it goes. Okay, and I put a little blurb on what exactly that model is from their catalog.
All right.
That's all I got.
We do have a need for an executive session tonight for the purpose of discussing the future employment of particular persons. Make a motion to go into exec.
Motion.
Motion second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? And we're not expected to take any action afterwards. So I ask now who would make the motion to reconvene to general session and adjourn.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is carried. Okay.